What did you think of Deshaun Watson today?
Well, Max, coming into this day, we knew that he wouldn't be able to speak specifically about the 22 civil lawsuits that are still against him, that were filed against him. He's maintained his innocence throughout, so he did that today. For the Browns, though, them having to explain why a 5-month odyssey led them to this point of feeling comfortable. And if you're a fan who feels uncomfortable with this move, you didn't hear anything today that made you feel better. There was nothing that either side was going to say that would make you feel better about this acquisition, especially the guaranteed money, $230 million guaranteed, the largest ever in a single contract. Andrew Berry, I asked him, you said we felt comfortable with Deshaun. At what point did you feel comfortable given their enhanced due diligence? And he said he couldn't pinpoint an exact moment because, as you know, the second grand jury case, the second grand jury met and failed to press charges against Deshaun. That's within the last few weeks. And the Browns have been doing research on Deshaun for 5 months, Andrew Berry confirmed today. So this has been a QB that they've had their eye on, before, even with Baker Mayfield as their quarterback. So today it's clear that he is an elite talent, that this team feels like they can win Super Bowls with him. He's just that good. But if you were expecting to feel better about the murkiness of this situation, I don't think Browns fans can actually walk away feeling any differently.
Kimberly, I thought there were a lot of good questions asked at the press conference, especially yours. And I thought Andrew Berry handled it by and large extremely well, except answering your question, where he referred back to an answer he'd already given and said, I don't know exactly when to pinpoint it. But let me ask you this. Had he said something like this, would this have satisfied you? Well, we had done our own kind of legwork, and we were feeling good about him. Certainly when the charges, criminal charges, were not brought, that corroborated what we had already suspected, and at that point we felt comfortable moving forward. It seems to me that was a missed opportunity for Andrew Berry in a press conference where he didn't seem to miss much.
Yeah, I agree with you, Max. In fairness to Andrew Berry, though, he's up there in a very uncomfortable position, having to be the senior person at that podium, because he's with Kevin Stefanski, the head coach, and Deshaun. Ownership, Jimmy and Dee Haslam, not here. They're going to do a Zoom call with reporters at 3 o'clock today. But in that room, having to field all the questions, where Andrew talked about the optics. We understand the optics look, they don't look great, us giving this contract, but we felt good about the due diligence, except they were again asked, did you talk to any of the women that filed lawsuits against civil cases against Deshaun? And Andrew Berry said they were advised by team counsel not to do that. There were women, there's at least couple women that did not file lawsuits against Deshaun. And it's unclear, at this point, it's not unclear. The team did not reach out to them. And that, if you are somebody who's looking for more details, for more confirmation that this was enhanced due diligence, as the team said, you feel as though talking to people close to Deshaun who knew Deshaun growing up and can speak to who he is, that's great, people that know Deshaun. But what about the people speaking, claiming that Deshaun is not who we think he is? I think that was the missing piece for a lot of people.
Kimberly, the least satisfying part of the press conference, for me at least, was when Deshaun was pressed on why are there 22 separate women alleging these similar things. His answer, I've never disrespected anyone, et cetera, I was raised differently, my mother, my auntie. But he then said the excuse for not going into details was, of course, there's an ongoing investigation, right? And so he can't say anything now. Did anyone at any point ask when the investigation is over, will the Browns set up, will Deshaun Watson set up a press conference so we can get into those details? Because the sense is, well, you get by this part now by saying that, and then in the future, it's the typical, I'm looking forward, I'm glad this is behind me, and thereby circumventing ever talking about details.
There will come a day when those questions can and will be asked, Max. The sticky point here is that we have no idea how long this legal situation will draw out for Deshaun Watson, because, again, he's reiterated, I'm innocent of these charges, and he said his intent right now is not to settle. It's to clear his name. He reiterated that, he was raised by a single mom, he's got aunties and all that. But as of right now, if he doesn't plan on settling, then we don't know how long the legal process will take to play out. And if there will be more women, because there could be more women that come forward, we don't know. But there's a lot of loose ends here, and it'll be interesting to see how this story develops, Max.
Especially the media's follow-up with Deshaun Watson eventually, and I'm sure if you settle, there will be some non-disclosure agreements and such, but he did say definitively there will come a time where he will address the specifics, and as you mentioned, Kimberly, when that will be, how far into the future is murky. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.